Do yourself a favor and don't die a fucking failure. You only exist once, your temporal existence in the material dimension, to understand that you are wasting this. You are wasting the potential for you to interact with reality in a level where you can integrate higher qualities of experience to level up through life instead of degrade and retrograde and reverse in the timeline, accumulating momentum on a path reversing to the fucking sewage. You have to understand that you guys have to understand that reality has a fucking grade to it. The way you purport and the way you insert and the way you move in life has a fucking grade to it. And we have to understand that we exist in the realm of polarity. Hot, cold, day and night, so on and so forth, death and life. You have to understand that there is good and there is bad. There is superior and there is inferior. And these are all degrees of the way you conduct yourself. And so we have to understand that the way you conduct yourself is a reflection of your self-worth. And so most of you guys believe you're worth the F minus, and so you behave and you do everything to perpetuate yourself on an infinite cycle of deteriorating and desolating and disintegrating through time. And so the best thing you can do is look in the mirror and ask yourself, what the fuck is your grade in life? And then most of you guys would say a B, a C, but then we come to the conclusion that you are a F minus in the abyss in the back of your mind, aka what you forgot to take account for was the porn addiction, the passively killing yourself with cigarettes and vapes, and the passively poisoning yourself like a delirious primate with the bottle, to pretend like that is not you and to count that out. You don't take account for the low qualities that you reflect in low quality behaviors. And so what you have to do is look in the mirror and confront the entirety of your existence. And so before you say B or C minus, well, look in the fucking mirror and realize you're an F, because if you're not the best, you are the worst, and there is no neutrality of space in between where you can slowly stagnate and pretend like you are, not going backwards. And so you can be going backwards without the awareness that you're going backwards. And so if you're not moving forward, if there's not a big fucking gap between what you were, who you are, and what you're becoming, compounding into, well, we have to understand that this is an obvious sign that you lack the awareness that you are reversing through time. And so you are hitting life with a reversal and you are dying a bitch. And so the best thing to do is truly confront the pussy and then actually do some shit to fix some shit. I mean, most of you guys complicate the accountability because you've diluted and polluted yourself to the point where you have created a false self. You pretend to be something you're not, and you conform and fake a smile like you aren't that reverberation of inadequacy in front of the mirror as you brush your teeth with that pollution of a reflection reflecting back at you. And so you have to understand that your existence 100% has a quality marker on it. And the way you conduct yourself is going to reflect the quality. And your thoughts that you charge and deliberately choose to occupy the space in your brain, and you allow these thoughts to accumulate into action. And so you are actualizing the mental. So you have to understand that if we exist in tangible reality, well, there must be an intangible, because we exist in a dimension of polarity. And so most of you guys, you sit there and you pretend like you guys aren't a fucking mess internally, and then you are necessitating and facilitating and actualizing the mess within you through these delirious, deleterious actions that reflect how incompetent, low quality, and a bitch of what the fuck you are. And so remember that the way you behave is what the fuck you'll have. Behave. And so most of you guys remain a slave to the addiction, to the subordination, and to the lying to yourself out of the confrontation that you need to confront, which is the individual in the mirror, so you can actually prove to yourself that you are worth more. Because you can say that you are worth this, and you can believe that you are worth that, but your actions prove you are worthless. And so if your actions aren't coexisting and aligned with what you believe you're worth, that means you're a walking fucking contradiction. And so the cognitive dissonance begins to ruminate the space in your mind when you realize that what you think you are is not aligned with the way you actually behave, and not the way you behave when you are in front of crowds of people, faking a smile and conforming your personality, shape-shifting into what other people's believe you should be, and then conforming yourself to their perception and narrative to perform like some circus clown. And so what you have to understand is that you are desolate, and you are deteriorating, and you are decaying through the quantum and space continuum. And you will continue to lose in life if you don't look in the mirror and confront that pussy. The way you guys behave, you have to understand that you are going to perpetuate this endless loop of being a bitch the entire fucking existence you have occupied the space. And so you are so selfish that you rather die a bitch than confront that pussy, wake up every day and reshape your mind to higher qualities to integrate higher aspects of life within yourself. You have to understand that your internal qualities is going to reflect your external reality. Because if you are a lazy piece of shit, if you are addicted, these are all going to manifest and unfold in behaviors that are going to keep you stuck on the fucking ground with a anvil on top of your head. And that anvil is representing the low-level piece of shit baggage you refuse to throw out to rebirth as something better, higher quality, and to choose development instead of stagnation and being dead while alive. Most of you guys, we look in your eyes, you have no fucking soul. You are a soulless vessel. You are a shell of desire, and that desire goes unfulfilled. And so now this desire is now leaking out of your consciousness as it seeps through the way you behave and interact with reality, now desecrating anything that is of quality to be shunned for its beauty. So most of you guys can't even look at a fucking human without projecting your leakage of unconsumed desire onto it. And so now we have to understand how much of a consumer you are. You smoke, you vape, you passively kill yourself with a bottle, you consume yourself. And so now we look at who the fuck you are as an individual. And if you're going to consume yourself, you're most likely going to consume others. And then so now we break down the way you interact with other people. And now you are consuming others for your pleasure-based existence, which you fuel through the desecrating and manipulating of people around you. And so now we have to truly understand what you lack the accountability for. And now we have to truly unravel your psyche in the fucking mirror to take a good glance of the piece of shit you've neglected for so long. And now you can actually realize that you don't have a C minus and you don't have a B plus, you have a F minus. And now that the shadow has revealed itself, we can unfold yourself in a light of a better image. But first we have to do that by truly confronting that addict, bitch, pussy, who's going to die that and reflect the low qualities of in their existence and pollute the one life they had to be a arrogant, desolate, no fruit bearing bitch. And so remember that the way you treat yourself is a direct reflection of what you believe you're worth. And so when we call you worthless bitch, remember that when you picked up the bottle and you hit the vape and you jerked off the porn and then you tried to project your internal leakage of unfulfilled desire onto others, this was all what you believed you were worth. And so when we say you're worthless, it's true. And if you don't agree with it, well, understand that your behavior proves you indifferent and you're wrong. And you should look in the mirror, take accountability for what you do to yourself instead of pretend like it doesn't exist when it leaks out the fucking side of your ear. And so the best thing to do in life, if you haven't done it already, is truly look in the fucking mirror and uproot the abhorrent qualities of your soul to plant something higher quality so you can actually live a life worth experiencing instead of this subordination of what you call life as you continue to perpetuate your infinite escapism to the casket, dying a nothing, no one, piece of shit, insidious, delirious, debauched bitch.